Box and whisker plots. We are going to look at a way to organize a set of data. Now, this data can have meaning behind it, whether it is miles an athlete ran in a particular time period, or shoe sizes across the classroom, things of that nature. So when you are setting up your box and whisker plot, and with most data, you'd always want to set it up from least to greatest. So you look at your data points, and here I have 8 of them. And I'm going to set it up from least to greatest. So my lowest number is 4. Then I have a 7, and you could cross them out so you don't forget any of them. We have 2 8s, a 9, a 10, 11, and 12. Now we have an even amount of data. We have 8 data pieces. If you had 9 data pieces, when we set up our box and whisker plot, you'll see something a little bit differently. So a box and whisker plot is really a way of showing all of your medians, which is going to be your middle number. So when I'm doing this, you want to have 5 different points. The min, which is the lowest number, 4. The max, which is the highest number, 12. And then we have 3 quartiles. Quartile 2, or otherwise known as the median of the data, is if you worked in from each side until you got to the middle. So here you will see you can separate your data into those 4 data pieces and these 4 data pieces. So the median in this will fall between the 8 and the 9. Now this one's easy to see that it's 8.5. But if you needed to, if you're ever looking for the average of 2 numbers, you would just add them together and then divide by 2. 8 plus 9 divided by 2 is going to be an 8.5. But here we see in between 8 and 9, 8.5. Now, if this was an odd number data set, you would actually have a number here and you would use it as your median. But again, because we have an even amount of data, we are going to have to find these averages. And then we'll have quartile 1 and quartile 3. Now, quartile 1 is the median of the lower half, which happens in between 7 and 8, which will be 7.5. And quartile 3 is the median of your upper half here, happening between 10 and 11, 10.5. And that just happened to work out in between 2 consecutive numbers. But again, if you needed to find a median or an average between 2 numbers, you would just add them up and divide by 2. So now let's get to the actual box and whisker plot. You will have a number line, whether it's provided for you or you'd have to draw one. Now my numbers go from 4 to 12. So I can easily just go by ones here, maybe start with 1 lower, 3, and go all the way up. And if we have more room, maybe to 13. And what we're going to do is these 5 points, we're going to put a dot on where they would fall on my number line. So my min number is 4. My max is 12. We have quartile 2, which is the median of the data, at 8.5. Quartile 1 at 7.5. And quartile 3 at 10.5. So to get my box and whisker plot, I draw the box around the quartile 1 and quartile 3. And the whiskers go out to the min and the max. My median of the data, we will see this vertical line drawn. So this is a box and whisker plot. There are a few things about the box and whisker plot that happens. In every piece here is 25% of your data, regardless of how large or how small it is. So there are lots of questions that can be asked. You may be asked, how much percent of your data falls in the box? Well, 50% of your data falls in the box, 25 plus 25. Maybe a question would be, how much data is below 10.5? Well, 25%, 25%, and 25%, 75% of your data is under 10.5. Think about if you were looking at test scores, wondering how people scored on a test. The last piece here, we'll be talking about ranges. If you want to know the range of the data, The range of your data is going to be the max number minus the min. So in this case, it would be 12 minus 4. So my range of my data would be 8. But we have something also that's called interquartile range. An interquartile range, otherwise known as IQR, will be the range of the box. So we want to know the range here. So it would be the 10.5 minus the 7.5, which would be 3. So again, a few things about box and whisker plots. A box and whisker plot is a way to organize data. If you have an even amount of data, it's going to look different than if you had an odd number of data. If you have an even amount and you need a split between the two numbers, then you will have to take the average of those two numbers. In this case, it was the 8 plus 9 over 2. And then again, we saw it on the lower half and the upper half. Then we're going to find the min, the max, and then our 3 quartiles, and then we'll use a number line to show this box and whisker plot.